Oh, my poor little baby.
Please feel free to let me know if you need anything.
Eno apresenta Enotônica, o novo sabor do alívio. Xiii, a azia atrapalhou a diversão? Chegou Enotônica, alívio rápido a partir de 6 segundos. Enotônica, por essa azia não esperava.
Holy Aureus, giver of life and light. In your divine radiance, we trust. Shield our souls with grace, our hearts with hope, and guide our path eternal. Turn our gaze from what lies beyond your luster, where wickedness dwells, and the shadows reign. Arm us with your golden splendor, so that together may we vanquish the darkness. In light, we walk. The Lords of the Fallen. Wishlist now.
Stop warming your balls and get over here! Hey, are you listening to me?
Sure, I am.
You're hearing me. You ain't listening.
Leave off, Granger.
Look at him, or I'll make you.
Boy, calm down, will you? All right, I'm looking.
What did I say then, eh?
Look for the pain.
That's it. That painted armor. Bloody savages, didn't I say?
Yeah, you said it, Granger.
Get off him. Oh, you think he's got blight? Sometimes it's harder to spot, yeah? Gets in your veins first. Clogs up your brain. Infected before you know it. He's dead. Poor bastard reeks. Probably dead for days. You're new to this. It only gets worse after they're dead. Makes you almost sorry for him. My ass doesn't feel too sorry. Keep looking.
que existe um universo com infinitos caminhos para você explorar. Então questione, transforme e realize. A gente vai estar aqui para te mostrar os caminhos.
Encontre seu caminho. Faça sua história. Universidade Cruzeiro do Sul.
I'm a setting sun, but I'll never run. I'm a dead man walking. I'll stay and fight as long as I'm alive. I'm a dead man walking. Oh, I'm a dead man walking. Before I die, take every soul I can into the night. Kill till I die. Kill till I die. Laying in the crowd, gonna burn it down. I'm a dead man walking. Oh, I'm a dead man walking. Hell's at my door, I'm a shadow man. I was before. I'm a dead man walking. Before I die, I'll take every soul I can into the kill till I die.
When the gods first emerged from the great below, we saw them as saviors. Instead, they unleashed a pestilence on our world. No one yet knows if you can kill a god. I, for one, intend to find out.
What worth has a song deprived of its end?
Ready? Wow. Mia, can you send me that?
Sure. Green light. Red light. Can you send me that?
Sure.
Then what worth have you, mastless run, a verse of an unfinished poem? Be the force of change in this wretched farce past due. Become its curtain call. It is not time to weep and cry for the departed. There is much yet to do.
慈悲颠倒，何故？吾有言：隐隐赤然何故？是曰：木生无烟，物长雷电，击背而歌，真意自现。
Wake up, gentlemen! United, we march into the dark. The Great Maker guiding our every step. Many of you have only known peace. Today is the day that changes. Our King Victor has been slain. Murdered by unknown causes. His son, King Gaelard, has taken the Great Throne. With uncanny timing, the wildlings have broken his father's pact for peace. And now, we must heed his decree. I know not of what lies awaiting us within, but I know one thing for sure. If it bleeds, it dies.
shared land and history. But their lies intoxicated you. You burned our homes and slaughtered our families. No longer am I frozen in terror, grief, and rage. Now all I feel is the ecstasy of revenge. Grief and rage. The ecstasy of revenge. Terror, all I feel.
That's right. We got a great show for you guys tonight. What an exciting weekend. A lot of new games, new technology coming out. It's just a great time to be a gamer, as we were just talking about before the show. By the way, guys, hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Your name comes up in lights. Also, guys, I did a couple of things with my mixer. I always like to let the audience know this. I did a couple of things with this new mixer again. Tweaked a few things. So let me know real quick if you can hear me all right, if you can hear the panel all right. If there isn't, I can make a quick change. So it's not a problem. It's something I can do on the fly. That being said, I want to say shout out to everybody here. I see the great Zuby Tech. It's late over there, Zuby. He must be very, very excited about my PSVR 2 talk that we're going to be doing tonight. I see your boy Roy. The DeFloyd is here. Blade X, Kratos 99, Danelle Brown. Danelle, I know you don't like New York sports teams, but buddy, I'll tell you, we got a lot in common. Arch War Angel, you're back home. Arch War Angel, I appreciate that, buddy. Really, really appreciate you joining the Mooch Maniac family members. You know your room's upstairs, buddy. There's plenty of food and drink in the fridge, buddy. I appreciate you coming home. These guys are fantastic. It really means a lot to me. Like I said, now you'll see this great panel that we have. We've got a lot more people joining us as the show goes on. They're all working and coming in a bit late. But while we actually take a few moments here, take a look at that phenomenal description. The description of tonight's show right there. It's phenomenal. Right above it is a like button, a subscribe button, and a join button. If you guys will do what Arch War Angel just did and consider joining the channel, it really, really means the world to me. Let me say shout out to these great people because I see them all kind of shuffling in right now. The great Sir X-Man, Judah Zook, Willie Gamer, Mumble Ranting Gaming, Tyson Webb 509, True Witty, Big Chuck 777, Alfonso Carter, Brap, who might be coming in later. We don't know. He might. Jamie, Damien, the great Jimmy Harrison, who I know is here, Andy Hart, Isaac Gentry, Red Hood 420, Ham Solo 05, shout out Ham, Rob Jones, Dad of War, Night Ripper 7, Toto Dope, Kratos 99, shout out to Kratos, Thumbs, JC 2013, Get This Work, shout out to Get This Work, outstanding name, love it that he's here as well, and a special shout out to the great Ice Queen Gaming. I told her to give her a special shout out. She's having a very, very family-oriented weekend. We'll leave it that way. And I want to say shout out to her and her family. The Mooch Maniacs, the major Mooch Maniacs, pardon me, Sergeant 12, Seattle Chef, Muck 45, Michael Kimona Jr., Noel Origins, Newtonian, Truth Serum, Brosy Brosum, Raji, Chris 713, Newtonian, Newtonian, I'm so excited you're here. I put your name twice. My fault. Your boy Roy, Scolari Brothers, Smokes 901, DC Gaming. Shout out to DC, by the way. DC went ahead and gifted a ton of subs to so many people over the past couple of weeks. So shout out to DC. I appreciate that. Miko, Gaming with Persona, someone you just might hear from in a moment. The great Jay Barry, who both do What's Up PlayStation. You guys already saw it. Was all over Twitter. They're not doing a show tomorrow, but they'll be back next Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, the Lord's time. Supreme Samurai, Tactical Gamer, Danelle Brown, That Guy Smitty, 4-Star General, Brian B, a.k.a. Delirium Blades, and our VIP Mooch Maniacs, Domino Zero, Marty the Ambassador, Bison, Shadow Assassin, Strictly! Shout out to Strictly Gaming, who got another dub in the new Warzone 2. I got to play with him this weekend. The Wise Old Gamer and our honorable mentions, Julian Johnson, Percolator 9000, Hustle and Motivate, Slang Chalain, Dre Watson, D-Watt. Guys, come home. They're out there without food, water, or toilet. I'm very, very concerned. And our forever Mooch Maniacs, Longshot 316, and the great Optimus Code. Guys, what a show we got for you guys. And I just want to say shout out to am I saying it right? Is it the Ruham? He says, great. It definitely is. Ruham, thank you for that. The Super Chat's working. It's a miracle. And Domino Zero, pardon me, Octopath Traveler 2 hype. There's so much going on, Domino Zero. There's so many games to get to. But before we get to the games, let me get to this phenomenal panel. Let me start with the one and only. We already introduced him. He needs no introduction. The great Gaming with Persona is on the show tonight. Persona, I took you away from your Friday night gaming, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being here. Persona, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Hey, man, I'm doing good, man. Shout out to you, Moose. Shout out to the panel, man. It's a great panel of people here tonight, man.
Yes, sir.
Always love, being on the show, Mooch. Who's yelling, Mooch? Stop yelling!
This damn guy can't stop yelling.
Shout out to the chat, man. I say it, man. The chat has embraced me, Mooch. They love me.
Yes,
now. I think I'm a part of the family officially. They ran me through the ringer just to see if I had tough skin. They realized Persona's got tough skin. He can definitely be a part of the Mooch family. They love the chat loves me now. You feel me? But yo, listen, I know it's gonna be a great show tonight, guys. Listen, make sure y'all hit the like button, and share the stream out. And shout out to everybody here, man. Appreciate y'all, and thanks for having me, Mooch, again.
Absolutely, Persona. It's going to be a great show. The great Merc305 is joining us. And Merc, there's going to be a lot of great subjects tonight that are really going to hit home. I know, like, everyone's always classified as somebody, right? Somebody's an Xbox guy, someone's a PlayStation guy. Now we have our PC guys that are here. Merc, you're a PC guy. I say that in air quotes. It doesn't mean literally you're a gamer, buddy. But welcome to the show, buddy. How you doing tonight?
Hey, man, thank you for the invite. Always great to be on, man. Always great to be on. Great panel, great topics. I see you lined them up nicely today.
Yes.
And yeah, man, absolutely, man. Looking forward to getting into it.
Great to have you here, Merc. And last...
Estamos ao vivo do BS5.
Os moradores de Manhattan acordaram hoje com um presente de seus heróis favoritos, enquanto entregavam uma gangue de criminosos enrolados em teias de aranha.
Tem 2 deles! Isso foi ao vivo do BS5.
PlayStation.
Procurar emprego é sempre igual? Destrave novas oportunidades com a Cato. A Cato é uma plataforma online que aproxima você da sua vaga de emprego. Com soluções que destacam você para o recrutador e aumentam suas chances de conseguir uma entrevista. Além de milhares de vagas exclusivas. Agora sim você tem o que precisa para avançar. Cato, destrave novas oportunidades.
But certainly not least, the man himself. You guys know him. He is the Kratos of PlayStation Nation, the great J-Dub City. Jay, we got so much to cover tonight. And I said, boy, if there's a night to get J-Dub on the show, this would be it. Jay, how you doing this evening?
Doing good, man. I got my binoculars. I'm looking out the window up in the sky, trying to locate me some Sony PlayStation executives up in the sky with the planes.
Yes.
Let's get it.
Well, thank you. You're doing the Lord's work for us. I appreciate that, Jay. That being said, I'll go ahead and start. I like putting the guys on the hot seat right and first and foremost. But this is kind of going to be fun, right? So, Persona, I'm going to start with you real quick because we were just talking about it before the show. Oh, no, this is going to be... We're going to ease into tonight's hot topics.
Okay.
We're going to talk PSVR 2, right? Now, we're going to talk about... I told you this. I haven't gotten my email yet that says it has been shipped, okay? I've got it that it says prepared to ship, but not shipped yet. But in all honesty, you've been looking at all the reviews. You've watched the videos. You've followed so many people on Twitter that are in the know with VR. These people that live, breathe, and just sweat VR in and day out. What do you think, and what are you expecting from PSVR 2? Is it living up to the hype for you?
Yeah, man. So, first off, PlayStation, what's going on with my shipment? It's been saying preparing for ship.
Me too.
2 days now. And the box ain't that damn big.
It's
you
not.
Understand? It ain't that big. You understand? Like, what's taking so long? It was no delay in taking my money. So what's going on?
What is the problem?
No, but a lot of people are definitely singing the praises of PlayStation VR. I haven't really been able to watch every single one. And the reason for that is I watched a couple. Some of them I didn't necessarily agree with 100% when it came to certain talking points of like, this VR being too expensive, it should be cheaper. Yes. And these are things that shout out to Bari, because me and Bari we were talking about this like all week behind the scenes. And PlayStation VR is an enthusiast device. It's not necessarily something that's meant to be mass adopted. It's meant to be. It's kind of like with pro controllers when it comes to more expensive cars and all these other things. They're not meant to be mass adopted. It's more so because it's meant to be an enthusiast type of thing. But they're saying I'm breaking up. Am I breaking up to you guys?
You sound good to me.
No, you sound good.
Yeah, the chat's saying I'm breaking up. I don't know. But so yeah, I think when it comes to what I've been seeing though, a lot of people are loving this headset. They're loving how easy it is to set up, which I think is going to be a really big selling factor with PlayStation VR 2 compared to the first one, where you needed to have a rocket science degree to set up the first PSVR. And for me personally, I'm extremely excited for PlayStation VR 2. I was an early adopter of PSVR 1 as well. I love that headset and love the games that I did play on it. But one of the things that held it back for me, where it kind of fell to the wayside, was that it was a really big chore to set up. So the fact that PlayStation VR 2 was much more streamlined in that department, And then we're seeing things like the eye tracking, which is making the image much clearer based on where you're looking. Not necessarily, with the cameras and everything connected directly to the headset, which means it allows for much more free movement within the area of your space where you're gaming. The PSVR 2 controllers with the DualSense Edge features inside of them. Like, it's just so many different things that I'm really excited about for PlayStation VR 2, and I can't wait. It's a day one. I'm on it next week heavy.
So I like what you brought up there, Persona. You kind of hit a thing. Guys, just keep in mind, we are going to get into the games. I have a list of the games. We're going to talk about what everyone's planning on picking up for that first week. But J-Dub, I got to ask you, Persona hit something that I see a lot of people saying. And I feel like it's one of the things, right? So everybody on this panel does YouTube content. I feel like when you do a review of anything, you've always got to do the good, the bad, the ugly, right? You have to do your due diligence. And I respect that and I get that. But a lot of people are running with the only true negative I can find is it's costly. Well, Jay, when I say this to you, like we've been saying this for the better part of 10 years now that I've known you specifically, is that we've been saying first of all, gaming's not an inexpensive hobby, first of all. Second of all, when you look at VR as a whole, when you look at the technology that the PSVR 2 puts out, doesn't it actually give you more bang for your buck than if you were to go do anything? And I know you have a PC that's more than capable of doing VR. So, I mean, wouldn't you need to, and we're going to actually, and Merkel will also contribute to this conversation in a minute, but Jay, what do you think when you hear about that stuff and people say that it's expensive? I didn't think that this was outrageously expensive. I mean, would I like it to be $100? Sure. But then would we be getting the finest and the latest tech in that headset for that cheap price? I don't think so.
Well, Mooch, it's this right here, right? You got a bunch of things going against it. You got the fact that Sony's producing it, right? That's a knock against it. If anything Sony does, anything PlayStation does, it's got to be negative, right?
Right.
On top of that, I own every single VR headset out there. Everything from the HTC Vive to the Oculus Rift to the CV1 Oculus, on and on and on, right? I've owned them all. I do the VR racing and and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just laughable that Sony, right, that makes a console, finally comes up with a high-end VR that not just meet the expectations of the PC, but it surpasses it in a lot of ways. Introducing new technologies such as the haptic feedback in the helmet, the foveated rendering, the 4K HDR, and all other technology that's built in, that even the resolution, everything from the resolution is higher than the nearest competition is a $1,500 headset with the Quest Pro.
Right.
And I find it funny that people did a review on that and it's like, oh, it's great, it's wonderful. $1,600, right? They didn't say anything about it's too expensive there. But here we are, a console, $399. You can have a high fidelity, cutting edge, graphical, everything, all the bells and whistles.
Yep.
For $499, and people, oh, it's too expensive.
Os melhores cursos para quem quer se profissionalizar e chegar mais rápido no mercado de trabalho. A Anhanguera, matriculou, preparou, empregou. Matricule-se já!
I need to get back to who I really am.
It's the most dumbest thing I've ever had, because again, go elsewhere and buy a high-end VR headset. Not only is it $1,500, but you have to buy a high-end PC that's probably going to run you about $3,000 to be able to play it at its full fidelity.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily. So it's like it's equivalent to saying, okay, $800 versus $5,000. Well, the $5,000 is great and fine. I don't mind spending that, but God damn it, that $800, we can't have that. This is just asinine.
Jay, so
It's-
Merc.
it's-
Well, go ahead,
okay.
Persona. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say, like, J-Dub brings up a good point because you always see people kind of bring up these weird scenarios of, oh well, even though the headset is 500 or whatever, I still need to buy a console. And it's like, yeah, well, you also need to own a TV. You also need to live in a home. You also need to have electricity. You also need to have internet. Like, you bring these nonsensical things into the conversation in a hobby that you really don't need to be in 100%. Like, if it's something that's out of your league or out of your price range, don't buy it. Like, it's that simple. It's not that difficult. And we see a lot of people, and obviously we know it's for the console war stuff and to kind of push that narrative and whatnot. But when you really peel back the layers, it really makes no sense.
No.
Well, I want to say this one thing. The Xbox was supposed to have, right? Microsoft said that they were going to give you high-end fidelity VR. Shout out to Phil Spencer for telling us that.
Right.
And how much do you think that was going to be if it would have came out? You think it was going to be $299, $199? I mean, what is the optimal price for a high-end fidelity VR with all the bells and whistles? What is the magic price for people who think that this is too expensive?
I'll give you I guess since PC is my primary platform, right? I'll give you my take on it.
No, go ahead, Mark.
I mean, listen, it's still I don't think it's priced incorrectly. I actually think it's priced fairly for what you're getting. And it's just like Persona said, it's still the cheapest entry point into a good VR experience that you can get into, right? On PC, you're definitely going to spend more than that. And then buying a PS5 and getting, the VR, the PSVR 2 headset, right? It's still, if that price is too high, what are your other options to go get? Like what's that cheap one? The one that Facebook has, that Meta has. What's that thing called?
The Quest 2, and that's I think $299.
Exactly. Go get yourself a Quest 2, and you're gonna have a pretty limited experience. It's not gonna meet what PSVR 2 is doing. So when I hear, oh man, it's priced too expensive, I'm like, listen, it's still the lowest cost of entry to get a decent VR experience. What's going to be a good VR experience. You know what I mean? On the PC, yeah, to your point, J-Dub, you are going to spend more money. Sure, you can get a more premium experience, but it's going to come at a premium price.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
I think that goes with, anything when it comes to technology.
Correct.
Right? This is something that I said a long time ago when people were complaining about the PlayStation VR 1's price point. And I said, when it comes to innovation, what are you willing to pay? Because innovation costs.
Agreed.
Great technology costs money. And in a hobby like gaming, shout out to Bari. Bari has said this a number of times on WUPS. Gaming is an expensive hobby. It's a very, very expensive hobby, or it has the ability to be, depending on what you're trying to get into. So sometimes, again, I know people might not like this, and I'm not trying to gatekeep or anything like that, but everybody's not in the same lane, and that's okay.
Agreed. Not everybody can have a 4090.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone can't get that, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But see, what happens is, in the world of social media, FOMO sets in, and people feel left out. And so you get these weird conversations of, well, everyone should be able to get it at an affordable price. And I'm like, that's not how technology works. That's not how
it's never been like
works.
that. It's never been like that, Persona, no matter what. It doesn't even if we step out of gaming, it's never been like that. If you want the latest and greatest, you always pay a premium. Now, let's also talk about it the other way around, right? When you are that first customer, you also could get a lemon. You could have problems. People say that all the time. I'm glad I waited 6 months. I'm glad I waited 12 months. Not only did I get a reduction in price, but they fixed this or they fixed that. There's pros and cons to everything. This has been since the beginning of time. This isn't a PSVR 2 talk. This goes for across the board. And I've really put a lot of footage up. They just did the breakdown of the headset, and they did the breakdown of the controller we'll have in a moment. But this is the Switchback game, which I'm very excited for. It comes out in March. I want to say shout out to the great Jimmy Harrison. He says, "What is up, brothers? Good to see you all. Persona J, always good to see you. Much love." Jimmy Harrison says, "Let him know, Kratos, I'm sold now, bro," which basically you just sold him, JW. You just sold the great Jimmy Harrison on a headset. And shout out to Scolari Brothers. He says, shout out to Mooch, the panel, and all the gamers in the chat. I'll catch you all on the replay. Scolari Brothers, I appreciate you being here, buddy, and thank you for that super chat as well. Allow me real quickly to introduce the great Kay Asante, who's here, who couldn't have picked a better night to be here because he's Mr. VR himself, and the great Slow-Mo Backslap has just joined as well. Kay, great to have you both here and join us.
Hear me?
Yeah, Kay, you sound great, buddy. I promised the audience more people would show up, and poof, just like that, here you are. Kay, what's your take overall on PSVR 2? Are you on a buy? Are you on a hold? Or are you on a pass?
First and foremost, welcome. I appreciate being allowed to be on the show. Thank you guys so much.
Of
Great
course,
panel
Kay.
members. It's always great to be able to chop it up with you guys. But okay, so VR. Let's see here. It's an interesting topic that I've heard a lot of folks talking about in the community. I don't know where you guys come at it from VR, but for me, as Mucha said, I tend to be the VR guy. With the exception of maybe one or two, I think I have every entry level and next gen VR headset like at home now. I own the Valve Index, which was the most expensive thing I bought for a long time. I bought that before my son was born, so that was my last present to myself. But yeah, so about PSVR 2, speaking from just a straight technology perspective, and I'm a technologist, it's what I do for a living, infrastructure architect as my day job, so I deal with tech all day. I love that stuff. So from that perspective, this device is actually probably rightly priced, if not underpriced, for what you get in the market.
Speak to it, Kay.
Right? No, it's true.
It is true.
It is point blank. Now, I'm gonna speak to both sides of the house here. Like, as a technologist, I see what I get for what I'm getting, right? And it is absolutely, and they put an emphasis on comfort because they know that you're going to be playing a console, which tends to be more than just a few minutes, more than just 30 minutes at a time or whatever. So, they really put an emphasis on comfort and a few other factors there. They have really, really brought it home. Now, I tend to be the person that goes, oh, you say high end. Most consoles are considered are like, to me, and I know I'm not going to get any fans about this, but when you say high end and you're not talking PC, then you're just laughing. I'm laughing at you because to me, it's like, I've said this on other shows, the Lexus and the BMWs will get those features, and then every once in a while they'll put it in a Honda Civic and you think you got high end, right? So there are differences between the really high end stuff that you're paying for. I know Slow-Mo's gonna be with me.
I was gonna say, I know Slow-Mo might agree with you.
There are differences between that and when they bring it to that home console, right? And that home experience, that turnkey experience that you want, right? And with that comes certain connotations, right? So from a technology perspective, absolutely, you get what you pay for. It looks like they've, unlike PSVR 1, which we can go shot for shot on that. I will tell you, they underpromised, they underdelivered, and they overpromised on that one. It was basically shoddy parts they put together because they were dipping their toes in the water. Even by the standards back then, they shouldn't have done it because it gave a bad impression because the tech just wasn't there, and they still made it work. And it gave a lot of people the muddy experience. This time around, no, they're not doing that. They went full bore. They're tip of the spear. They're giving you like as high end as they can in a living room setting, right? And with that foveated rendering, they're able to really target where you're looking. Well, foveated combined with eye tracking, they're able to target where you're looking and give you the best there while saving resources elsewhere. So it can fake you into seeing far more and far better than you would have, than the PS5 is frankly capable of. They're just focusing their energy very smartly. Really, really, really great tech, right? So it's absolutely worth the money that you're paying. But because it's in that living room setting and the audience you're catering to with that living room setting, right? That's where the other side of the house comes in. And although I can look at it from a technical perspective and tell you get what you pay for, I can also understand the folks that go, come on now, they subsidize all the stuff. Why can't they subsidize this one, right? And for me, as a person who is all in on VR and wants it to become a mainstream thing, I think it's unfortunate that we don't have a company that is willing to, well, not willing, but is able to subsidize it at a price that gets everyone in, right? I know they can.
That doesn't make sense, though. That doesn't make sense.
It makes absolute sense because if you don't have a Tesla Model X, you'll never have a Tesla Model 3. That Model X subsidizes the 3's cost. They had to sell enough X's. They had to sell enough Valve indexes to people like me in order for eventually the technology to come down and to be able to be profitable while still selling it at a lower cost.
Over time,
while
but again,
while PlayStation can't do that, and we understand that they can't do that, right? It is unfortunate that, hey, we wish that somebody could do that to push it into the living room in a bigger way, right? So, like, for me, you know, I'm not saying that, oh, you shouldn't buy it. It is technology that's
Persona,
worth the
go ahead.
cost.
Persona, go ahead. I want to hear you.
That doesn't make sense because when you compare it to other VRs on the market, it's severely underpriced next to the second or the best the best VR on the market. So to say that this needs to be subsidized or this needs to be the Quest Pro, whatever it is, that's in the thousands, just like 1,000.
That is being compared. We're not talking about the Pimax. We're not talking about the Pimax. We're not talking about any of the
Quest
other
Pro and the Pimax and the others are